What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me tonight. Of course, joining another episode of Northwoods TCG. Hopefully, you guys are having a good evening. Hopefully, everything's going well. And, of course, a little bit behind just because of the fact my computer decided to do an update with 5 minutes before we came online. So, once again, thank you guys, anybody that's out there. We're just getting started. And today, as you can see, we are going to be talking about becoming a Pokemon investment YouTuber. That's right. To me, there's been a lot of stuff going. Hey, Pika. Let's go to chat before we get started. We'll give it a little bit of time here. Let some people in. Hey, Pika. Hey, iFomo. It's nice for you two to be joining. Hopefully, this regular schedule is making it a little bit easier for people to find the live. But then I'm going to mess people up because next week we're going to be moving to 8. So my wife is part of a live or a Zoom chat that they have. And they, of course, are in Arizona. And Arizona doesn't do time changes. So we have the luck of shifting pretty much every time that we have time change. So because we got daylight savings time, of course, now her schedule will move to 8. So we're going to be a little bit earlier. It might be a little bit easier for some people to get on at that point in time. But overall, it's just been a lot of fun with the lives now, doing this every week. It definitely gets things a little bit more up to date. Yeah, have to love the computer updates. Microsoft always has the ability to have some really good timing at getting those updates just when you need your computer at the most inopportune time. So once again, guys, thanks for everybody's joining. I see we got about 5 people moving in right now, 6 now. So we're getting some people in. So today I want to be talking about what it takes to become a Pokemon investment YouTuber. Now, there's been some things going on. Of course, I know people follow the community, know what I'm talking about. But when it comes down to it, we see something very interesting happening when it comes down to Pokemon YouTubers and investment strategies and how to invest, and even in Instagram. And you could apply this to a lot of different places, a lot of different areas. And you could sit there and look at all the different opportunities that are out there for you to grow in a community, grow as a content creator. All of these things are things that come to this point. So when we sit there and look at what it takes to become a Pokemon YouTuber or investment YouTuber, realistically, you need to know couple little things. Number one, you need a decent camera, something that can give you some good imagery. Number two, probably the best and one of the most important things is sound. Sound is really important when it comes down to it, because if it sounds grainy, scratchy, or just crappy, nobody wants to listen, of course. Third, being able to title and actually make thumbnails that people are interested in. And last but not least, knowing in Pokemon that sealed products are a fantastic way to make investments. Now, that's what we seem to be seeing. It doesn't matter. A lot of investment channels have just strictly been going on sealed product of the Pokemon world. Buy, put away, sit on it for 5 years, and ta-da, rinse, wash, repeat. Continue to give the same message. Defend everything that comes out and say that you're right and this is the way. Sounds like a Mandalorian. This is the way. And we continue to see that going through as we move through, Pokemon investment in general. Now, granted, if you were to look back the last 10 years, all Pokemon sealed investments have gone up, right? Now, I would make the argument that if 2020 did not happen, if we didn't have that boom in 2020, if COVID didn't happen, personally, I could probably name right off the top of my head 4, potentially 5 different boxes or sealed products and booster boxes that probably would be the exact same price they were at their low point. And if you want to know what they are, of course, I'm going to say XY Evolutions, Roaring Skies, Steam Siege, followed by Crimson Invasion. Honestly, if we didn't have this boom and this big upheaval of people into this community, I don't feel that any of them boxes would be anywhere near the pricing that they are right now. And even half of the Sword and Shield boxes, Rebels Clash, perfect example. Overall, not a good set. Overall, not a well-perceived set. Really, really slow overall. And even with the boom, it didn't really catch on very well. It's a victim of its own doing at the end of the day, because they didn't do reprints of ETBs. They didn't do any booster box reprints. It really didn't get much to it. And thus, we just don't see the movement that we were on those particular sets. So when it comes down to learning to become a Pokemon investment YouTuber, really, it's not that hard. It takes research. It takes time. You can sit there and continually spin the same narrative over and over and over again. And you can sit there and continue to push the same ideas forward that everything goes up in price. Every sealed product will go up in price, which we don't even know if that's completely true either. We're speculating, and by the numbers, yes, it has absolutely done so. But that doesn't mean that that's going to hold true forever. And that doesn't mean that it was going to be true if certain events and things didn't fall perfectly into place in order for these things to happen. So that's a huge factor when you're talking about investments. Now, a lot of people can, in general, get an idea. Even if you have ideas of Pokemon investment, if you have even on your side, you already pretty much have plans for where you want to be and how you want to do things. You have a time frame for which you want to do the growths and the movements that you're looking for. And that's a big factor when it comes down to investing in Pokemon and making the decisions for how you're going to invest in Pokemon and what the strategy is that you're going to imply. So when we sit there and talk about it, it's just going to be kind of interesting to see where things would actually, how you'd actually do these strategies. And a lot of times I always say Pokemon investment YouTubers are more utilized for getting an idea. They're good for creating a strategy. They're good for creating a direction. Even myself, a lot of this is just a blog, really. I mean, I'm telling you a lot of times what I'm doing. I'm telling you when I'm doing a video and when I'm looking at the markets. They're usually my own look and view of what the market is. I'm looking at it through my window, and I'm looking at what's happening, and I'm trying to make decisions through that window for what's going to be the best direction for myself. Now, if you're running a similar direction and you're trying to do something similar to that, of course, that's exactly where it's going to fall in line for you and where my strategy would probably be better than someone else's strategy. When it comes down to it, for being a Pokemon YouTuber, you need to be a little bit open-minded when it comes down to our followers and who's listening to us, who might hear us, and where they might take the information that we're giving out. Now, even on this channel, I've been very, I want to say very good at trying to adapt to be sure that I'm giving you information that's in a good direction, that you can understand it, and you know exactly what my scale is for something. So when I'm talking about investing into Sword and Shield booster boxes, I'm not using it as a short-term investment, right? At this point in time, I've made it clear when I'm buying something or doing something on my end, I am definitely saying, hey, this is going to be a long 5 to 10 year investment idea. It should pan out. The set's here for these reasonings. The foundations are here. I believe Pokemon's going to be here in 10 years. Overall, this is a good, just long-term, waited out type investment. But on the other hand, I have been doing other things on my side where I've been doing like PSA investments now. And I brought those up, and yeah, the videos don't seem to get much interest because a lot of people seem to be watching the investment side from the sealed side of things, and even the singles do fairly well. PSA is just not something that people seem to have much interest in this channel. And if you do, I can go through more of it. But in general, those videos just don't ever seem to get the following that I'm really looking for when it comes down to giving out information. When I'm getting only 300 to 400 views on a PSA video, but I'm getting close to 2,000 to 3,000 views and people seeing an investment video based on sealed product, of course, you're going to push that a little bit more. But as I've said on this channel also, even in the last 2 lives ago, it's really hard for me to keep doing sealed investment, especially booster box videos, because in general right now, most of them are just sit down and wait. Buy them, put them away, wait 5 years, and just wait them out. That's where you're at. If you're looking for those short term and you're looking for that really, really strong short term game, something that you're trying to build your collection off of and try and get growth to expand your business and expand what you're purchasing, give yourself the buying power now to be able to go in and be able to purchase that next big item that you need, or something you're trying to fill in a collection, or trying to expand to add in more inventory. Let's say, for example, you're doing box breaks, or your investment strategy is to start selling on eBay, or start to create your own stores and things like that for sealed products, singles, and all that. You're definitely going to have a different strategy than other people in the hobby, and it's not a long-term game. So the biggest thing that I want to just talk about today, just starting off, and this isn't going to be very long. Of course, my rants are never very long. I just like to have these little discussions, and sometimes it's kind of nice to just get my thoughts out here for other people to hear. When it comes down to it, for being a Pokemon YouTuber for investment, it really isn't that difficult. Overall, if you have time and you have the energy to put into looking at numbers, and you have the ability to put together numbers and start to look at trends, and you start to understand a little bit of human psychology to where interests change and why they change, you can do fairly well at getting ahead of some of the curves and getting ahead of some of the things that are really important. And being able to broadcast that to people can be very beneficial. And granted, some people will be good at it, some people won't be good at it. Some people are good in front of a camera, some people just don't like being in front of anybody. And the thought of having 1,000 to 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people looking at them on every video can get a little bit daunting, because my wife is the same way. I laugh because she tries to do these videos and she's always so nervous. And it's really a nerve-wracking thing to her to think that even though she's just looking at a camera, such as I am here, you still have this mentality that, hey, 4 to 10,000 people could be watching this video at any given time. And that can get it to be a little bit of the downside when it comes down to it. So overall, guys, when it comes down to Pokemon investors and what you should be really looking for, in my opinion, I try and do it on this channel, and that's to give you very defined directions on where to go. Look for individuals that are giving you a specific item, and they can break down that item on why they think it'll be successful. Not just because, oh, it's a sealed booster box, buy it, put it away, it'll be worth money. Yeah, and that's the case if certain things all go right. All of them will probably go up in price and value. But if certain things don't fall in line, who says that Battle Styles is ever going to catch enough traction to be a successful set? If you were to buy it at $110 right now, or $100, what it's currently going for, do you see that potentially in 5 years gaining enough to compensate for, number one, inflation, number two, the cost of selling it, which includes shipping, storage, packaging, all the boxes, everything that goes with that, and then on top of it, potentially paying a seller's fee to a company like TCG Player or eBay or Mercari or Facebook Marketplace, any place that you may sell that. Unless you're selling it local. Some people will sell it local, and that's okay. But once again, these are all factors that need to come into it when you're looking at products now. Pokemon is going back to its more normal state. 2019, when I came back, it wasn't as flamboyant. It wasn't as quick to move things. Everything was a job. It was a grind. We used to grind through singles, and I still do that. That's why I've got loads of singles behind me, is that we're constantly grinding different perspectives of the Pokemon TCG to build and increase the value of our collections and increase our buying power to be able to grow and actually create a better investment, bigger investment, or build a better collection. Basically, that's where your goals and where your goal setting and where the direction is that you want to go is going to become the most important part of all of your Pokemon investments. And that's typically who you follow, is who's following close to your trends. And once again, vague, just buy something is not a good reason for me to go buy something. If I hear a PokeTuber or investor tell me that this box is going to buy or going to be fantastic, go buy it. Why? What's the breakdown? What is in there that's going to draw someone back to it futuristically? What is something that's going to make me want to put this away for a long period of time and see the value grow inside of this? Why is someone else going to want to buy this item? I mean, is there a reason that someone's going to want to buy this? And those are all factors that come into play when it comes down to your overall investments and where your planning should go. So, once again, guys, if you guys want to see more PSA, me flipping PSA cards, please let me know in the comments, because I've been doing probably 50 to 100. I mean, I'm not a huge flipper, but I've been flipping probably 50 to 100 of them every single month just to try and keep going with a constant flow of cards going through, and definitely trying to maintain some kind of value there where I can continually see income on that end of the world. And that's something that I've been growing, and it's been doing rather well. It's been pretty successful up to date. I know a lot of people, when the first videos came out, said that it's stupid, don't do this. And then, like I said, if you know how to source cards, if you know how to look at cards, you can be pretty successful at it with a little bit of a learning curve. It usually takes a little bit to do it. But once again, that's pretty much where I wanted to go on this. When you want to look at it for becoming a Pokemon YouTuber, please, anybody can do it. And that's my point. Anybody can become a Pokemon YouTuber at the end of the day. It doesn't take a lot except for a laptop, a little bit of knowledge on how to read some numbers, and the confidence to put yourself on a camera and actually be able to discuss these things. And that's the bigger thing that I just wanted people to have caution. I'm seeing a lot of, because times have changed, because things have become more difficult, because in general, it's not as easy just to go and buy something and flip it in a couple months. We're seeing repetitive information come through continuously that buy ETBs, buy booster boxes, buy booster boxes, buy this booster box, buy that booster box. And I'm seeing it from even some of the bigger, investment channels. They're running out of things because it isn't as easy to find that quick play. And they can't shift gears to what's going on in the market. And they can't seem to shift gears into a new thought process of maybe giving different plays. You don't have to do sealed product to have plays. We're finding them in coins. You're finding them in singles. You're finding them in the graded section. You can buy raw cards. You can buy lots and break those lots down and have profitability in lots. There's a lot of different ways still in this market today to be able to find those profitability opportunities and rather quickly. You don't have to sit 5 years waiting on a booster box to mature to hopefully cover that 22% that you need in order to cover all the expenses of selling these particular items anyplace. And that's another big factor that really needs to be looked at. So PokeTubers are going to be going in through, and it's going to continue to get worse here for the next year, especially with economy things. All those kind of issues are going to continue to put some stress on people. And once again, it's just going to be one of those things that's going to take some time to see who adjusts, how they adjust, and where the adjustments are going to best work for everybody to get the information across that's going to be helpful to individuals in the future. So, like I said, I just wanted to go through that at the beginning of this here. That's probably not going to be my video. I'm going to do a different video here for Wednesday. Typically, I use this live to kind of show off my upcoming videos. But tomorrow we're going to be talking about the market. I've got a video on investment on the market, currently in the United States, English market. And then on Friday, I'm going to switch over and we're going to be looking at the Japanese market. I had a couple people in the live request that. And like I said, it's been one of those things that's been, I've wanted to do it. I've seen how, I've got an idea how I want to do it. But the issue is that it's really hard to overall get the right information. I want to be sure the information's correct before I do anything on it. And with me only having really one source that's in Japan that I can regularly talk to, it's a little bit difficult sometimes to verify some of the sources from on the grounds. That way, I'm not giving incorrect information. I'm giving you guys the best information that I can with the sources that I can actually back up what I'm seeing. So, once again, that's pretty much what I got for today. Well, as always, I'm going to just kick over into the chat for anybody that's got anything coming up, anything that they want to discuss, things that they're seeing in the hobby. Always interested to see what other people are seeing when it comes down to the overall market and how they're doing. How are you guys doing on your investments? Is everything still staying pretty solid on yours? Are you having issues with any areas? Are you seeing any pitfalls that are coming? It's definitely interesting to hear what other people have to say when it comes down to that. Like I said, going through the chat, thank you, iFOMO, once again for joining. Pika Pika, thanks for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you in the chat. We got James from the Alamo City. Thank you very much for joining, James. And yes, thanks. Anybody that's in here, be sure you hit that hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated if you can do that. Definitely helps the channel out and gets the algorithm to catch it a little bit longer, especially on a little bit shorter of a live. Sometimes it seems like it takes a little bit for everybody to get in here, even talking, and it's great to have people hit that like button just to push it through. Let's see, what did Pika Pika say here? If the boom never happened, I would probably never have gotten back in. It was crazy, yeah. And that's exactly it. I hear that from a lot of individuals. Overall, it's a very common conversation piece I have is that if the boom didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. And I can tell you from even playing in tournaments and stuff, the number of people in the tournaments is just so much higher. It's crazy to see the amount of people that have come into this hobby. The amount of people that have joined and have actually retained. I mean, that was the biggest concern I think a lot of us had for the longest time is yeah, you could have this great boom. There's lots of people jump into the market and jump into things, but then overall they just all kind of flutter away and disappear. And we saw that. We saw people come and go and leave, and then, and it's changed. Some of them were good to see gone. I mean, the flipping and the scalping and that kind of stuff was good. Not that they could keep up with it anymore anyways, with how much product there is available now, especially with the slowdown with Scarlet and Violet. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would honestly, they would not be here if if they weren't in the if this boom didn't happen. And the boom is a big factor. I mean, like I said, just off the top of my head, in my opinion, there are 4 or 5 booster boxes right off the top of my head with very little research in it that I could honestly say would not be at the prices that they are today. And you can even see it even during the boom. When we were going into the boom, some of these boxes did not change pricing until we were actually in the boom. We were in it and before any of that stuff happened. And that's a big factor when it comes down to it. You can tell anybody to buy booster boxes. You can sit there and say, buy booster boxes because they've all gone up in value. But if 2020 boom didn't happen, I don't know, like I said, if Evolving Skies, or not Evolving Skies, if Evolutions, if Roaring Skies, if Crimson Invasion, if Steam Siege would have nearly the value that we've seen to this day. And that's a big factor when it comes down to it, is that boom had created a market. It created a vacuum point. It sucked everything up and raised the pricing of everything. It slightly dropped everything. But the other part is, too, is that, like, back in the Sun and Moon and the XY eras, the product numbers were a lot lower than what we are seeing in Sword and Shield. And that's another big factor you got to watch for. We're having a lot of people ripping. We're having a lot of people go through stuff. But we are definitely seeing a lot more product than what we have in Sun and Moon and in XY. Granted, Evolutions, Roaring Skies, probably way up there in numbers. Definitely there was a lot of product produced for those 2 sets in general. But a lot of the other XY and Sun and Moon sets just didn't have the production numbers. I mean, look at Sun and Moon. We had 2 sets that never even got reprints with some of the highest numbers on them, including, Team Up and going into Cosmic Eclipse. Neither one of them really got a reprint. Cosmic Eclipse had that aborted reprint, which ended up giving us like that Arceus box behind me, or, the Pokeballs where you could get all of these. I mean, that's where all of these ones came from. So you just got stacks. I pulled these all out of Pokeballs. I was just kind of sorting them in the boxes here. But yeah, that's just it. Without that being aborted, those products would not be wouldn't be there. But Cosmic Eclipse realistically had some packs produced, but did not get the reprint, the booster box reprints, the ETB reprints, or any of that stuff in Cosmic Eclipse either. So that's a big factor for the performance of those sets also. Let's see. We're going to go down to chat here again. What we got here? Like I said, thanks, James from Alamo City. Thank you for definitely asking people. Yes, definitely hit the like button. Once again, as he said, it helps out. It definitely improves everything. If you guys hit that like button, it lets people see it, gets more people in. Derek Lavender, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here again. And just let you know, it is going really well. Like I said, it's been really warm here in northern Wisconsin. It looks like we're going to be in the 50s next week, which is crazy for November. But I will definitely take that when it comes down to the weather up here. Keep snow away till December. We'll be in good shape. James, what do we got? Have you seen the $29 Walmart booster bundle from Crown Zenith? It's legit PCI product and is fire. Ordered 6 so far, ripped 4. By the way, the QC on the hits is pretty good. Average 2 to 4 hits per bundle. No, I did not see that. I'm going to go have to check that out. So it's 4 Crown Zenith? What? I'll have to look that up. I did not know that they were doing some kind of bundle like that at Walmart for... Oh, is that the... I'm sorry, is that the Pikachu bundle? Is that the Black Friday bundle that's coming out? If that is, then yes. Then I did get a couple of those, if that's what you're talking about. I haven't opened any of them yet, so I don't know what the hit rates are inside of those boxes. But yeah, I did get a couple. They just came out here on last Friday. They showed up at our Walmarts. Yeah, I think you get 6 packs in it, it looked like, and then you get the Pikachu. That's the Crown Zenith Pikachu box, I believe. Let's see. Crown Zenith Booster Bundle is exclusive to Walmart only so far, besides what is selling on the secondary market. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's their Black Friday special box, is that Crown Zenith Pikachu bundle. Let's see. James, I think with the high inflation and rough economy we are suffering from, now is the time to collect with or invest in Sword and Shield, since the prices are down, will only go up in time. And see, I would sorry about that. I got distracted by the last thing. So when we're sitting here talking about the Sword and Shield stuff, I agree. Now might be a good time to invest in Sword and Shield products, especially booster boxes, ETBs. with the market being down. But the other question is that there are some areas in the Pokemon TCG that are still going up. I mean, we're seeing good movement in singles. We're seeing some good movement in some of the other product items. If you're looking for that, booster packs, there's some really good booster pack movement right now that aren't necessarily in Sword and Shield. So people in the hobby in general are starting to move to different areas of the hobby. They're starting to enjoy other things. And there's still a lot of people with money. Let's not joke ourselves. There's a lot of people with money in this hobby right now that have no problem spending it if they find the items that they're looking for. Now, if you're just looking to get like an introductory, once again, it all comes down to that viewpoint and your goal for what you want to do. If you want to be completely passive, you want to be completely just an investor that wants to be passive on it, you can go ahead and buy any Sword and Shield product now. You've kind of missed the first boat, but there's always that second boat that will probably happen in the future. In general, I would think that if you were to jump in on Sword and Shield products now, there's going to be kind of a little cap, like we've talked about before on here. Pokemon Center is going to cap most of these products. When it comes down to anything that's still available on Pokemon Center, you're going to create a cap that most of the product on the secondary market isn't going to pass. You get free shipping from Pokemon Center. You just got to pay tax. You're going to create this dome that's going to take you a little bit. Sometimes you'll see some outliers like Brilliant Stars busted through for a little bit, and then the reprint happened and it fell back through. You have the same thing happen kind of with Lost Origins for a short little bit. It busted through that dome for a little bit, and then it comes back down. But a lot of times I've been hearing from people, and I don't know how true or what the validity is to it, that a lot of times that's outside sales. So outside the United States are purchasing from TCG Player. These are external or international sales because they can't purchase from the United States Poke Center. They're buying off a TCG Player. They pay the extra money for the shipping over there, which is, of course, affecting the pricing and make it look higher. Once again, it just makes a little bit more sense if you look at it that way versus people just consciously knowing Pokemon Center is $144.99 and you're going and buying them for $183 on TCG Player. I just don't know why people would do that without looking at that a little bit differently. So, and that's where I kind of feel it was happening right when Brilliant Stars didn't get any reprints and we got that big ETB reprint. So it would make sense that would occur. But once again, yeah, that's where we're talking about though. Sword and Shield's probably going to get to a point where it's going to saturate. People aren't going to be buying as much, and people are really changing. They're changing the direction for where they're going, and that's going to be an overall big factor when it comes down to your overall goals. Do you want money to sit for 5 years, 3 to 5, even 10 years, or do you want your money working for you and potentially making money for a while? And if you want one of these products, watch it. When the product starts to move and when you start to see some movement in that product, some decent good movement and good changes in it, a lot of times you can find those deals that are still behind that didn't catch that movement too and be able to purchase those. So that's a good way to look at it. Is there's definitely some opportunity to jump into these later. You can watch them. Just be patient with them. You don't have to buy them now if you don't want to tie up that money, because the problem is that you don't have to just keep it at $130. If you buy a booster box right now at $130, so if I go and I buy this Lost Origins booster box right now and I go over and put it on my shelf, this box has to go up by at least 15 to 17% minimum in order for this product to actually for you to make any money on this product, right? And that's a big factor. So when you're crossing $100, you're paying $13 to TCG Player. I mean, if it goes up to $150, you're going to be putting even more money at TCG Player. That's the fact that what really sucks about a lot of the sources. Unless you have a good source or a good outlet with low interest or low payments to use their sites, it's really difficult to remember that you need to go from 130 to 150 in order to break even. Your break even point now is 150. So you're $20 behind right away just for buying that. So buying it 130 to 140, you're waiting for it to cross 160 to 170 in order for you to see profitability in that investment. So it's a big factor. Now, if you buy Lost Origins or, let's just say that this was Chilling Reign. You bought Chilling Reign at $80 a booster box at one point, and now it's $140. Now you're way up ahead because now you got to think from 88, you only had to clear $100. You had to hit the $100 mark and you're breaking even. Everything past that point now becomes more and more profit. And that's why another good factor is buying low and getting into that low point is a huge factor for being successful in your investments. The lower you can buy it, the better. buying it higher and then hoping it gains again, it can take a long period of time. And if you don't mind tying up money for a long period of time to hit that 150 mark, it's not a problem. If that's your goal, is just to have a large storage of frozen assets, that's great. Pokemon's a great opportunity to do that. Sword and Shield products. I think that Trainer Gallery is going to be fantastic, especially like Lost Origins. I think that the alternate arts are going to be sought after for years to come. But once again, you're putting them in the cold storage and you're kind of locking those assets where you don't have a lot of play or availability to sell them and actually make profit. You're actually at a point where you're going to lose money for quite a long time on buying these assets, especially these last sets of Sword and Shield for $140, $130, $140. So that's a big factor you have to consider when you're looking at that in general. And that's why a lot of us are saying buy the reprint. Now that the reprint price is kind of gone and we've seen the increase from the reprint, now they're becoming a little bit more difficult to justify buying. And now it's kind of a wait game to see when does the flock of interest move back to Sword and Shield and back to that Trainer Gallery and back to that alternate art? When do people want to start chasing that in droves where it'll drive that market back up again? All right, we're going to go back to the chat here. So, Derek Lavender, no, it looks like a small Japanese. Okay, no, I have not seen that one. Yeah, if you're talking about that I have not seen that product. I just saw the Black Friday one. I got a couple of those, but I have not seen this 6-pack of, I'll have to go look around. So, yeah, if it's like the 6-pack bundles, I'm going to have to go check and see, because I didn't see that this weekend at Walmart. I haven't been there. Our restock day will be Thursday. So, Thursday this week, I'll go check it out and see what we got. Because we just got all of the new Paradox Rift all came in, so there was a lot of that stuff. About new thing. Okay, booster bundle. Sean Y. I want to host. Yeah, thanks for joining, Sean Y. I want to know about the YouTuber aspect of this hobby and how you're making money with it. I'm not. I don't make any money making YouTube. So just to give you an idea, I mean, for all the videos I do, for all the content I do, for the amount of time I put into it, I roughly make about $110 to $140 a month. That's my monthly payout for the advertisement on YouTube. Personally, I know some individuals push other things, so they use it. So even myself now, I'm looking at trying to get discounts for you guys on products. So for me, the better way of doing it is if I really want to get serious about making money on YouTube, is I need to get sponsored by some things. So I'm working on some sponsorships for selling some products. So that's the biggest thing is that realistically, any kind of income that I'm really going to make on YouTube over the $100 to $140 a month is realistically going to just come from sponsorships, trying to get product for you guys, of course, doing that kind of stuff and advertising for people. I'm working on getting a couple different promo codes right now with some companies to give you guys like 10% off of some commonly purchased items. I don't want to put them out there yet because I'm in the process. So when I was sick for the last 3 weeks, those are kind of things I was working on, was using my channel size. Now that it's about 4,000 subscribers, it gives me a little bit more ability to push and get some good opportunities for pushing on to you guys, giving you some percentage codes. And then by you purchasing through those companies and using those percentage codes, I actually get a commission too for the advertisement factor. So that's realistically where the income comes. And then of course the new thing is just realistically more income would come from members. So if you were to join, the 99-cent membership every month, that would be something that would increase my value and my income on on that part of it. So that's where I could make more profit, but I just don't push things. Problem is that I've never created this channel with the thought process of making money. This was more of a channel that I just wanted to blog my experience and just help individuals, because during the boom, especially, I was seeing some really bad advice being put out on YouTube. I was seeing some really bad, individuals really pushing items in the market and pushing product and pushing this investment ideas, but not doing it responsibly and not doing it in a way that was beneficial for individuals. And that was realistically the reason that I started this channel. It was never really to make money. That was never my intention. But of course, the amount of work you put into it and the more stuff that you do, the more opportunity that there is to try and expand and try and maybe make a little bit to compensate for the cost of this. Of course, I mean, by the time I'm done, $110. By the time I do openings and I do giveaways, and I, like last year, everything that I made went to the 2,500 subscriber giveaway, because I gave away a UPC, I gave away two booster boxes, Hidden Fates tins. So that was all given away last year. So realistically, even the income I made then didn't really stick in my pocket. It went right out the door. But no, honestly, if you're going to YouTube to try and make money just by making videos, you're really not going to do it. You're not going to make any substantial income here. You're really going to want to push more of the memberships. Try and get those memberships. That's going to be the biggest thing to kind of build your channel. And then the second factor that's going to help build your channel, of course, get sponsorships. Work with companies, for like sleeves and something that pertains to your niche and to your actual area, and try and use that to maybe get those commissions and things like that. You can do commission sales through eBay. You can do it through Amazon. I just never really have set any of that stuff up. I attempted at one point and I just kind of gave up on it because it's just not what I was intending on the channel. Let's see. Pika, did you get a hold of the SV151 Pokemon Center Squirtle promo and the Pikachu with the gray felt hat? I have my thoughts, but also interested in your take on the pricing over time of each. So I did not get the Squirtle. I did not get I never did get an order in to be able to get that Squirtle promo. So no, I do not have that. I'm definitely watching it. I think that, once again, because it's new and it's hot and Pokemon 151 is really hot, I think the pricing possibly has some availability to drop in price yet. I don't think that we're at the lowest point on those particular promos, and I could be completely wrong. I'm completely guessing. But once again, when you're in hype and FOMO for something and it's all over the place, prices tend to go a little bit high. If you wait a little bit and let everything kind of cool, a lot of times we'll see some reductions on those pricing overall. Pikachu with the gray felt hat. I did not get it in traditional means. I got it from a friend. So my friend got a couple of them. He got 3 of them and he gave me one. So he sold me one for $5. But but yeah, overall, I just like to the Pikachu with the gray felt hat. Once again, they're talking reprints. They're talking more of those coming yet. I mean, if that's going to happen, the price of that's definitely going to drop too. So yeah, I do have one, but I also have the Scream promos that aren't graded. So I just wanted to put it in with the Scream promos. I thought that just to complete that art set for me was just enough to what I was looking for in it. Well, thank you, Pika Pika, for that. Appreciate the efforts on the videos. My hat's off to you. Greatly appreciated on that. The Pikachu for tomorrow in Walmart that you're mentioning, cost per pack cannot be beat. $3.50 per pack plus the bonus Pikachu cards and pin. Not sure if there's a cap, but we'll get 3. I didn't have a cap here, James, but our Walmart has a cap at 10, so I got to purchase 10 of them. I got 4 because I want to open one. My son wants to open one, and I wanted to keep 2 just because of the price of those. Trying to keep the price of those packs. I mean, for $3.50 a pack for Crown Zenith, you can't go wrong, like you just said. Absolutely a steal of a deal on that. Walmart Plus members get access. Yeah. Offering free shipping for members. What do you mean by that? I mean, offering free shipping for members. That'd be an option too. If I do box breaks and stuff like that, but I don't do very much for box breaks. But usually when for members, I was doing a free pack during box breaks for a while there. So if you were there and I was doing box breaks on the channel, then I open a free pack, usually like one of that for the offsets. Let's see, Kanto Green. Why people saying that Pokemon Phantom Forces will be 50K in 4 years? I think it's speculation. Someone's really trying to push it again. I mean, what? Pokemon Phantom Forces right now is $1,800. No, $2,800. So it's now nowhere near $50,000. I don't know why all of a sudden it would shoot up to $50,000 in 4 years' time. There's no Flashfire was probably more popular than that. let's see. Pika Pika. I like how humble you are. There are some content creators that are so arrogant and portray an image that they know everything and come up with excuses if they're wrong. Yeah, and I try to be really honest and open with you guys. I mean, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect by any means. Typically, I try to be always cautious, though, about what information. I'll do some plays that are really risky on my own, but I'm not going to give them to you here on the channel. It's just not. I want you guys to be successful, and if I'm doing something that's really crazy, that's an absolute hit or miss, I just won't go there until I at least know if it's going to work or not. So definitely try and keep things realistic. I definitely like to portray who I am, and that's the biggest thing is that I don't try and portray to be arrogant. I don't know everything. I can do research like nobody's business, but I don't know everything. And I don't try to portray that. And I make mistakes, and I own up to my mistakes. I've screwed up. I've said there's no reprints coming, and a reprint will come, and I did a video recanting that, saying I screwed up. So once again, I always try to make sure that I keep you guys up to date with what's happening, trying to make sure that you guys understand what's going on in this market so that you can make the best decisions that you need to for yourselves. Thank you, iFOMO, for that. I'm going to skip the French part. Andy Hale, thanks for joining. Chat, did you ever crack that Lugia slab and regrade? I cracked it. I have not regraded it yet. I actually put it in my binder with my other ones right now. So, honestly, I was looking at the pictures from when I sent it to what I got back, and there is a nick on the edge from either shipping or PSA. So I am kind of a little bit upset with that one. But I'm just going to kind of keep it as a binder collection. I'll just keep it as my own Lugia right now. But yeah, I looked at the pictures when I sent it, when I did the video, and there was no damage on that card. It was completely clean. Now, when I cracked it out of the slab and could get a good look at it, the top edge now has an edge on it. So the fact that they actually gave me an 8, I'm actually surprised. But part of me makes me think that they did something and damaged that, and that's why they did it. So I'm not 100% sure. I can't prove anything, but no, that Lugia will never be a 10 now because of that. So I have not resent it due to the fact I opened it up and found that. Phantom X mods. How much money are we spending this Black Friday? Oh, way too much, probably. Well, it's not going to be me. I'm going to have some Black Friday deals, but my wife's probably going to well surpass me on Black Friday spending. So if anybody has a wife or a significant other, trust me, be prepared, because you'd be amazed at how much they can spend. You think you spend a lot on Pokemon, you let them go in a shopping center on Black Friday and see what happens. iFOMO box breaks would get the income rolling. I would highly recommend watching a R Red and Blue live on YouTube. Yep, I watch him. Yeah, he has a good format. I like his breaks. I actually really do enjoy them. iFOMO, I've actually been on TikTok doing breaks just because the nice thing is about TikTok is that with the TikTok store, they're not charging me anything for the interest, and they are throwing a ton of promos right now. So literally, I'm selling, if you guys are interested right now, if you go to at Northwoods TCG on TikTok, you'll find me. I'm selling like sealed booster boxes and stuff on there for market value. But then they're throwing like 20, 30% off, free shipping, $15 off your order. They're doing all kinds of promotions right now on our sites that are just huge, especially for new shops. So I've only been on there a month. But man, the deals are just phenomenal because you're getting a really good price. You're getting a lot of money off. And then on top of it, I'm also keeping all my money. It's not like it's a coupon where I'm offering it. It's actually them offering it and doing it through their channel. So that's a huge bonus for me. It's been really good for selling stuff on there. And then, like I said, we've been doing box breaks on there every Sunday. I start off at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then I go until orders stop. So that's what I've been doing on the side. That's been, like I said, that's been more income than YouTube. Let's see here. Michael, what do we got? Thanks for joining the chat, Michael. Thoughts on the new shiny set scheduled for January. I actually released a video on my thoughts on it. I don't know. Personally, I think I'm getting a little burnt out on the shiny idea. I've seen that if these leaks are real, there's some really good potentials for some of the secret art rares and art rare style cards inside of it, which might be good. But in general, I'm kind of curious to see the full rollout in Japan before I'm going to commit to anything on that particular set. Like I said, I'm just getting tired. You went from Hidden Fates to Shining Fates, and now we're going from Shiny Fates to, Shiny Treasures EX, and it's just, yeah. It's a real interesting way that they continue to do it, and then, of course, throwing in another Charizard. So here we are getting another Charizard, which one leak made it look like it was going to be identical to the full art from Obsidian Flame, and then other one I just saw the other day looked completely different. So I don't know which leak, and it's going to take some time to see what's going to happen. Let's see. Yep, teach a man to fish, exactly. I like to teach people rather than just completely dump knowledge on people. Canto Green, do you have any Phantom Forces for sale? I do not. I don't have a ton from the XY era just because I started in 2019. So I do have some stuff from 2000, like the tag team sets. I have some base set. I have, Lost Thunder. I've got some Lost Thunder, some of those sets, but I do not have, the only thing I've got from XY era is I have 4 booster boxes of Roaring Skies, and I have 2 boxes of Evolving Skies, or no, I keep saying Evolving Skies, Evolutions left. So I've got those 2 sets. Let's see, Pokénerf exclusive. What's the biggest Pokemon screw up that you've ever done? Not selling Evolutions. No, probably the biggest one that I've ever done. I'm just trying to think. There's been a few. The biggest thing that I always get caught up on is that I don't sell when I should. I've been better at it the last 2 years, but in 2019, 20, and even into 21, I was really bad at not wanting to sell stuff. So because I was and I would get emotionally attached to a lot of things that I really shouldn't have or had no business getting attached to, then I wouldn't sell it. So, Evolutions, a perfect example of it is that I got 2 booster boxes of Evolutions. When it had $1,000, $1,100, I probably should have sold them. And then, if anything, I could have rebought them at a cheaper price and bought them back at like $600. So I could have literally sold 2 and bought back more. And I've done that with several products along the way, especially 2020. I mean, I sat on a lot of products all the way through 2021 that I should have sold. And when I did, I still made good money on them, but I definitely could have made a lot more just for sentimental reasons. I hit my number I wanted to, and I just waited longer, and then I just waited way too long. So that's the biggest thing is I tell people is that I've changed, and when I do investing, and the biggest change that I've done personally is I started setting a goal number. I started sitting there saying, okay, when a product hits this number, this percentage gain, I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell whatever I've got, and I'm going to get out at that point in time. And then I will sit there and go and do the same thing with the next thing. So like Evolving Skies. I bought 10 cases of Evolving Skies. I thought it was going to be a great set. I bought it for $99, $104 shipped to my door with tax and everything. Once again, great profitability. I sold 5 cases at $180 when it hit that point. And I said, okay, if I do this, I'm going to knock down that cost basis on my shelf. It's going to free up the cash that I'm looking for. And I said, if I can sell 5 of them at $180, I'm going to be in great shape. And then I'm going to sit on the other 5. So I'm still sitting on 5 cases of Evolving Skies. Do I think Evolving Skies is going to tumble down? No, I think it's going to stay pretty rigid where it's at right now for a little while anyways. But that's probably my biggest mistakes is that I was getting way too sentimental on things. I was having fun on the hobby. I was enjoying the hobby. I was becoming sentimental, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on selling some of the things that I really should have. Pika Pika, pricing aside, what's your favorite special or non-special set of Sword and Shield? My favorite set, it's going to sound cliche as heck, but it's Evolving Skies. But I'm an Evolutions fan. I love Evolutions. Flareon's my favorite Pokemon. I love Eevee and Evolutions and all the different Evolutions. I'm hoping they make some new Evolutions here soon. So, yeah, I'm partial to Evolving Skies just because of the Evolution run. The only thing I was upset about is that they took my favorite Pokemon and put it in a box instead of making it a chase. So they pulled the 3 OGs and made the VMAX special collection boxes for Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. So they took the card I wanted in the set for a chase and turned it into a promotion box. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, iFOMO, fantastic. I will say you develop a more personable connection on YouTube. I do. I can absolutely tell you that. I have a more personal connection with you guys than I do with anybody on TikTok currently. TikTok's just fun because I've created 2 different platforms realistically, because here I wanted to keep it serious and keep the information, talk about the investing and keeping things real and keeping that side of things going. And then I'm taking the stuff that I've put away for me to be able to do openings and do that kind of stuff, and I'm using TikTok as a platform to have the fun, open the packs and sell the packs through there, where I'm not really crossing. So I'm not really shilling to you guys, but I am having fun opening up on TikTok. So that was kind of always my plan on that. I don't want to make it seem like I'm shilling to you guys, so I'm selling you products here and trying to push you in the investment side. But if I keep them disconnected, you find me on TikTok, you find me on TikTok. You watch me and you can join in, but I've been kind of not really pushing it all that heavy on, and even really mentioning it here on YouTube that much. I've been keeping that veil or that wall between the two for that reasoning. Just followed you on TikTok. Love the content. Well, thank you, PokeDealZs. Thank you very much for joining me on TikTok. Like I said, it's just fun. I open a lot of different products too on there. I just kind of rip into those oddball mystery boxes on there. So if people are looking for what's inside of them, I try to be sure I open those boxes up on there so you get a glimpse before you go and buy them. TikTok equals the answer to mass production. It's not. It's low right now. TikTok equals low sales costs, which is what I'm looking for overall. I've always been trying to chase that lowest sales dollar I can, whether it's using Craigslist to sell stuff, whether it's using Facebook Marketplace, or a lot of the Poke sites on Facebook to do the sales deals, rather than paying the extravagant fees for using sites like TCG Player. eBay, you're going to lose 13% by using them. And that's what I try to avoid more than anything. And TikTok's got a great avenue for it. And that platform is really built extremely well for doing box breaks and sales. Let's see. Have you gotten scammed selling products? The only time I've ever gotten scammed is, I wouldn't even say it's scamming. It's just people have a hard time understanding what the difference is between near mint and lightly played. So, like TCG Player, I'll sell cards and then someone will come back and, want a refund, or they complain or whatever. And then you got to decide whether you want to pay for the shipping to bring it back or not, and deal with that. A lot of times you end up just losing cards because individuals have this idea that something is, in their head, they're looking for near mint, and they don't understand that a graded near mint is not the same as a card raw near mint. So in their mind, near mint is getting absolutely flaw-free, good centering, it's ready to grade. And it's like, no. Lightly played is meaning it's been used, it's got some scuffs, it's been potentially used for playing, it's got a little bit of roughness to it, just gentle roughness. And like I said, that disconnect creates, it's not really scamming yet, it's kind of selling cards and kind of losing money sometimes, because it's just not worth fighting that argument. And sometimes I had someone do it to me twice. If they do it to me twice, now they're using it to their advantage, and I stop selling to them. So that's just, that's when it feels like a scam, is when they do it a couple times. Let's see. Any plans to add to your Crown Zenith sealed collection with the reprint and the price dip? I have enough Crown Zenith. I've been asked that before already. Personally, currently, I have enough Crown Zenith in my already put away that I really don't want to add more, take more funds and put it into that particular source right now. So I'm good with where I'm at in my position on Crown Zenith. I'm happy with what I've got. So I'm just going to sit back and let it go. I'm not really going to chase anything in there. Kind of being really specific on some of my money right now, because I do have a lot out at PSA I'm grading coins now. I'm grading different. I got a bunch of cards out of PSA. I got close to 100 cards out right now. So there's a lot of things happening right now at PSA, and that's going to be one of those things that I'm not going to go after Crown Zenith just because I've got funds allocated other places right now that I really don't really want to put money in a Crown Zenith at this point. the damn? Oh, these guys are just talking. Okay. Canto Green, what do you think about CGC grading? Kind of confusing. I don't even deal with CGC anymore. 100% honest, I was already kind of out of them when they started doing weird stuff to begin with. When they started grading all these weird items and grading all these weird cards, then I started getting out of them. And then they changed the grading. They loosened up that Perfect 10, and that kind of turned me off too. I mean, we were getting a lot of weird cards that they were grading. The errors, the early grading, the weird labels on cards and things like that. So I was already kind of 1 foot out the door at CGC. They were great to have as a company when PSA was backlogged, but in general, I'm not doing anything with CGC, and that's why some people have even seen like here I have two CGC 9.5s, and I got a couple more over here, and people are like, well, why don't you send them in and get them get them graded with the 10s? And because I'm not going to grade them with CGC, I'm probably going to crack them someday here and send them into PSA. Right now, they're just whatever, they're sitting there as displays. I got a good way to display them right now, but overall, I'll probably grade them in PSA here in the near future, probably crack them and send them. Let's see. Yeah. Little trucker dude, thanks for joining the chat. I'm a truck driver, and every state I go to, I visit a different card shop and see what they have. Now my truck is full of VTB. That is the danger of doing that. If you stop at every card shop, I buy something from every card shop I go to, which is why my wife rolls her eyes whenever I want to stop at a new card shop, because I will be buying something. Let's see. Phantom X Mods. Are you from Wisconsin? Brick and mortar or just online sales? So I am from Wisconsin. I'm from northern Wisconsin. I do not have brick and mortar. I really just do everything online. I don't have a brick and mortar store. I don't have any place to bring anybody. So everything's online sales. I use TCG Player, TikTok, eBay. I do a lot of different sales like that. I do use Craigslist quite a bit. So there is a good amount of local community that is willing to purchase stuff and continually buying from me. They know I have stuff. So there's a lot of kids and younger adults in this area that know that I have good connections and I get good pricing on things. So I will sell to them too. So my local market is pretty good just from people I know. But I do not have a brick and mortar. Everything is pretty much online at this point in time. And I have no intention of, be honest with you, I have no intention to start a brick and mortar. So there will not be any like Northwoods TCG shop in the near future. Maybe when I retire. Maybe when I'm 70 years old and still playing card games, I'll start a TCG shop then. And it's vintage Pokemon cards from Sword and Shield era. FOMO. If they had a mint category on TCG Player, everybody would complain. Yeah, they complain now. They don't even need the mint category. I mean, like I said, to them, near mint is supposed to be like a PSA 10. I mean, and that's where you get into the some people have the grading mindset, so everything's supposed to, if they're buying near lightly played or they're buying near mint, it's supposed to be grading as a 9 or a 10. And it's like, that's not how card quality goes in raw. It's a different card quality in raw than it is in PSA cards. And that's the hardest thing is to get through sometimes, that all this card's lightly played and they're expecting them to be like, fairly good cards. And it's like, no. I mean, they're not beat up. They're not chipped or anything like that. They're just got scratches, or like the reverse hollows sometimes. Because let's be honest, with reverse hollows, I'm not as cautious as I should be sometimes. And they get rubbed together and they get some lines, and then I'll list them as lightly played versus near mint. So I'm just honest, and that way I don't have any issues. Typically, if I got anything that's lightly played, I just don't even list it because it's not worth the argument when it comes down to it. But other than that, we are already at 10 o'clock. That went extremely fast. So, like I said, if you guys got any last questions here before we call it a night. Otherwise, next week we'll be moving up to 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll be an hour early, at least through the winter months, until daylight savings time again, and then we'll move back to 9. Like I said, I'm just kind of playing my wife's work schedule. If she has a meeting, and it's Arizona time, so they don't do daylight savings time. So their time changed, so her time changed. But, yep, as of right now, that's what we're looking at. Otherwise, if you guys got any other questions, once again, I'm always going to put the reminder on there. If you guys do want to support the channel and help out, definitely hit that membership. 99% membership gets you the Of course, gets you the emojis for the live chat, and then on top of it, you get the back data that I've been putting in. So last video where I was doing the pull rate data for Pokemon 151, if you have not seen that, go check that one out on Friday. But that video, I actually put the data where actually all the pulls were and where you could actually see the best hit rates and what was coming from what product based on what was happening. And I used a lot of different sources on here. I mean, I watched a lot of videos, a lot of openings on that to get the information. So I put the video out there. I showed all the information. I gave kind of a breakdown of it. But then on the member side, the members got an actual glimpse of where all the hits were. So whether it was full art, EX, whether it was SARs or ARs, and what was in each one of the products. So definitely doing a little bit extra for the guys that are memberships, just so if you're looking for information, you can find it. Those will also be the areas where I'm going to do like promo codes first. So if I get a couple of these promos or these sponsorships, then I'm definitely going to put the promo codes there for a little bit and give members an opportunity for them for a while, just as a thank you for anybody that joins the channel and joins that channel membership. But other than that, like I said, thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you guys had a good chat and get some good information here this evening. Once again, PokeTubing is not too difficult. You can actually do it with a little bit of practice. The real people that are helpful in this community and the real people that are helpful when it comes down to Pokemon investment is the people that can really break down and explain why something will be valuable, not to just buy every booster box or every product out there. It's the people that can break it down on the reasonings on why. Who's going to buy it? Why is it going to be valuable? And then, of course, when's the best time to purchase this to get the best value out of it? Those are going to be the major things when it comes down to it. So, otherwise, guys, thank you for joining me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the 1 hour here this evening. Once again, we'll have a video for you guys up tomorrow. We'll keeping the normal schedule Wednesday and Friday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And then I'm going to be doing a live here now at 8 p.m. Central Time here with you guys every Tuesday. Otherwise, we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.